All right, we are now going to do something called jam duets. Jam is when you're playing music for a while and you just sort of get into a zone. And so duets means two parts going on at the same time. So I'm going to be leading both parts. And you might be wondering, how am I going to be leading two parts at the same time? Well, you might have noticed on my foot, I have a tambourine flipper. So my foot's going to be doing that. It's part one. And my drum is going to be doing another part, which is part two. So you get to decide which part do you want to do. Part one with the flipper or part two with the drum. Doesn't matter what instrument you're playing, you can decide. Now, part one is generally going to be a little easier. So if you want something easier, you might want to do that. Part two is going to be a little harder, but not too much harder. So I'm going to always start with part one, and then we'll go to part two. Okay? So this is jam rhythm number one, and it's a duet, meaning two different parts are going at the same time. So your leader is the foot, you watch the foot. If your leader is my hands, then you watch my hands. So here is jam rhythm number one. Part one. Rest, rest. Can you do that? Okay, now comes part two. You ready for this? Maybe you want to think like this. Plum, plum, cherry, plum, 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 cherry, plum. And just listen to each other. Job. Okay, now we're going to do jam rhythm number two. So it's a little bit different. Okay, here is, so part one has the same part this time. Rest, rest, rest. And here comes the part two. 1, 2, 3. Now, since both of those are pretty easy, I'm going to give you a chance now to switch parts. So if you were on part one for jam rhythm number two, I want you to go to part two. If you were part two, I want you to go to part one. So this is the same rhythm, but you're switching parts. Here we go. Here comes part one. Rest, rest, rest. Here's the next part. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3. Nice work. 1, 2, ready, and stop. Okay, now we're ready for jam rhythm number 3. Part 1 is going to go like this. Let's do part one with the steady beat. So it's going to play every beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is what part two is going to be. If you want some words to go with that, it can be plum, cherry, plum, cherry, plum, cherry, plum, cherry. rhythm number 4. And jam rhythm number 4, the part 1 is going to go like this. 1, 2, 3, rest. 1, 2, 3, rest. And the other part 2 is going to go like this. Cherry, 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 plum. Cherry, 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 plum.